Hey everybody, what's going on? This is another episode of Yeah, What's the Rate? And I have Diana from Mama Chan's on today for the second time. So thanks for coming on again.
You're welcome.
I forgot to hit record on the audio. So all we had was video and no audio. So we're running it back. So thanks for joining us today. And again, thanks for coming back on. So for those of you that don't know, Mama Chan's is in Northport, right on 25A. It's one of my favorite restaurants in town. My wife and I go there all the time. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity to have you on to just kind of get more insight of the restaurant, how it came to be. So why don't you give us a little backstory of, how did Mama Chan's come to fruition?
So me and my brother have always wanted to have a restaurant. And I think more specifically based on my mom's home cooking. Because we don't typically eat out at fast food Chinese restaurants.
Right.
And we thought it would be such a great thing to have people eat what Asian people eat at home, which is, fresh vegetables, fish, meat, no MSG, just things that are just healthy, cleaner. So the opportunity came about for us to open this restaurant. The restaurant that was there in the space prior allowed us to do pop-ups over the summer. And we did really, really well. So we were like, you know what, I think we could do this. So I quit my job. My brother quit his job, and my mom didn't sign up, but signed up to open this place.
Right. Awesome.
And here we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you had literally no background in the restaurant industry or anything like that. You did work in customer service though, to an extent, and in terms of that. And I kind of feel like I was saying, we always talk about it, and when we tell people about your restaurant, is that it's not just the food. I find it's more, you create an experience for the, for your guest, where it's not just the food, it's not just the presentation, it's just the friendliness of yourself, the staff. It really becomes an experience more than just like, yes, the music is the big, I was going to get into that, but yes, the music is a big deal. And I think that's like, it really resonates and leaves your guest with this, this great experience that they want to come back over and over and over again.
Yeah. So I think that's really important for us is not only do we want to put out good food, we're not here looking to get a star here, or be like the best restaurant, but we want to have good food. We do specials every week to keep it exciting because we do have a really small menu.
Yep.
But we also love the small menu because it's not overwhelming to look at when you're sitting down and you don't have 1,000 things to choose from.
Yeah.
And we have a small menu. We do those small things well.
Agreed.
My brother comes up with things in the kitchen every week, things that may or may not work, and things that actually eventually end up on the menu.
Yeah,
which is so cool.
Yeah.
But it's so fun to be creative back there and just have people try new dishes and see how people like them. So not only is it just the food, but we want people to feel like when they come into the restaurant that they're coming into our home.
Yes.
And that they're part of the family. And
I think you execute that well. Yeah. I mean, because I would say majority of restaurants you go to, you don't get that experience. And for those of you who don't know, on Friday and Saturday, that's the nights that we always end up there. Friday, Saturday, like at 9:30, the old school rap goes on. And I started having these flashbacks of high school. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, this is amazing. I was like, not only the food is great, I was like, then the whole vibe and the music and stuff is, and I think you guys knocked that out of the park when it comes to that aspect. Going back to the small plates and stuff, it isn't overwhelming. So when you do sit and do go, to sit and you're looking at the menu, you literally could almost get everything. I always say four. If you're four people, you literally can get everything, and everyone can get a taste of all the different dishes that you have to offer, which is amazing. Yeah. Because sometimes you go to a restaurant and it's overwhelming. You don't know what to get, and it just becomes more of a task, at that point. So it's been a year, right?
Yeah.
You just had your. It's crazy how fast that went by. No.
Really, really fast.
And now in that year, what I'm sure obviously there was extreme highs and extreme lows. Anything that sticks out to you that was challenging or that you guys fixed along the way, and maybe even still juggling, at this point and figuring it out?
I think when people say working with family is really, really hard, it's really, really hard.
Okay.
that for me personally has been one of the biggest things to try to work out and get the kinks out. Just being in the same space with my mom and my brother, like 6 days
It's
a
a
week.
week, yeah.
It's a lot for anybody, but I think now we've figured out how to work better with each other.
Right. Have a system in place to some degree.
Yeah, like an unspoken system.
Right, okay.
But, I let my brother do his thing in the back. He lets me do my thing in the front.
Right.
And it's now less stressful. And we work around each other and with each other. So that one was one of the biggest things for me, was the toughest. Right. And then the second thing I would say is keeping people in the back of the house, like cooks and chefs and staffing in the back of the house. Is really challenging because people just like don't show up one day.
Right. I know you were saying that. Yeah. Now, do you think that is that just the industry as a whole, the restaurant industry? People just get up and go and jump from restaurant to restaurant and stuff, and it's hard to keep somebody committed and loyal to you. Is that kind of?
Yeah, and I think that it's so weird to me because we are so chill at the restaurant, like as crazy as it gets sometimes. We're so chill, and we treat everybody like family, and we don't even get the conversation like, oh, I need a raise or I'm not happy with this. It's just one day they don't come back.
Yeah, they say you don't even get the opportunity.
No, it's
right.
And when we call them, there's no answer.
There's no answer. They change their phone number.
It's like they have disappeared. It's
crazy.
And this has happened like 3 or 4 times. It's not even.
You do see a lot of restaurants have like now hiring hostess, waiter. I mean, like that there is there's short staff, and it's like then it's funny because then in the same sentence you'll hear from people that they're trying to get a job and that they can't find work. So it's kind of interesting. But I know the restaurant industry as a whole is a unique. It's not like anything else. To my knowledge, I've always been interested in it, but I know the stresses that come along with it. My wife's family were in the restaurant industry for years before I met Jen, and just hearing the stories and stuff. There was a lot of great times, but there was a lot of everything in between too. So there's a lot that comes with that.
It's like every day is a fire drill. You don't know when it's like you're gonna go in and be like, oh, this person didn't come, or this happened, or the toilet's not working, or it's like every day is something.
It's just always something. Yeah. So it's like which to me always was like kind of exciting. So like going like on the mortgage end or whatever, like everyone says like, I don't know how you do it. How do you do this for a living? And I'm like, for me, it's like every day is something new. So it's like, I have a problem or a fire I have to put out. I have a client who wrote me a great review. I have the interest rates went up, the rates went down. Like, so there's no consistency, which some people like that drives them crazy. They want to be able to like clock in, clock out, shut it off after 5 o'clock, and then just start again in the morning. It kind of keeps me on my toes. Having that, not knowing what tomorrow holds, as exciting and as nerve-wracking as it may be, I think that's what kind of fuels the fire. And yourself as an entrepreneur, I think that's the same thing. And whether it's in restaurants or whatever it may be, like your goal is to just be successful in however that has to be. Yeah. That's the goal.
But I think there's always like a learning, there's learning in everything. So when those things happen, you just learn for the next time and hope that it doesn't
you learn from your mistakes and you learn from experience. So things
right.
like being in the restaurant industry, I mean, if you've never done it before, how can you be expected to know? You don't.
There's a lot
you don't know until you do. And a lot of people who are, you worked in the restaurant industry at some point.
So my parents had restaurants back in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
And we grew up being in the restaurant.
Okay.
But
so it's in your blood, though.
It's in my
blood. It is in the blood.
Yeah,
it's in your blood. Okay.
But I've never run a restaurant, I used to waitress
and
back
stuff,
in the day. But
Jen used to say she would do the coat room at her restaurant or whatever. She's like, on a Thursday night, I'd make like $200, and she was like,
a lot for a coat
and she was like 13 or whatever. You know what I mean? It was like crazy. So I never got to experience and everything, but hearing the stories and stuff, it's kind of cool. And obviously, there's a lot of we were discussing before. It's like there's a lot of like it's 24/7 though too. It's like even when the restaurant is closed, you're still prepping for today. You said it's a Tuesday, and you have a busy Tuesday ahead of you. So it's even when the restaurant doors are actually closed, you're still working to get everything ready for that night or for that week coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. Whether it's like a Sunday is my only full day off, I'm taking reservations. People are calling.
Right. And even on the day off, right?
Yeah.
No, I usually message you and be like, "Hey, can we get a?"
I don't mind.
I need your cell rather than just having to go through Instagram or whatever. But it's crazy. So I always like when I'm sitting in your restaurant, I always envisioned like the small plates, the vibe, the style to be in the Hamptons. I just think that it would be so cool to have like a pop-up or something like that. And it just, again, it goes back to that vibe and the culture that you've created within. It's just cool. It's cool, and I haven't seen that replicated or done really elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm
I mean,
not
that
saying
would be nice one day.
yeah, and I'm not saying I'm not like a restaurant connoisseur or anything like that. I do like to go out and eat and
Yeah.
everything, but I feel like we're always like when we're like, oh, where do we want to go? It's always, oh, let's go to Mama Chance. Let's go to Mama Chance.
you.
Like, you're well. It's and I'm not just saying that because you're
Yeah,
on the podcast. It's always
No, but
like
you do always come, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we love it. We love it. So we'll see you Thursday. This
Yes.
Thursday, we're coming. In terms of what you guys are doing, so I've noticed you have definitely a social media presence.
We're trying.
You got the hoodies and everything. Jen's been
Yeah.
rocking the hoodie. What I saw you did trivia night. Tell me about some of the things that you're doing. Maybe on like off nights or on the slower night. What kind of things are you doing?
So we used to do a lot of live music. I'm gonna try to bring that back. We stopped when it became like holiday season.
Sure.
It was like too overwhelming
Yeah,
to have all these things. So we have been doing trivia nights. We do live music. We have a really interesting art show coming up on the
that's cool.
29th.
Okay.
It's being hosted by the South Bay Art Association.
Okay.
So they're typically a South Shore group.
Okay.
And they do a lot of work on the South Shore, but they want to incorporate people on the North Shore and
Oh, that's cool.
kind of like
They're
bring
bringing
communities-
artwork in and
Yeah.
stuff and doing
So
like
they're getting submissions in from artists,
okay.
and they're gonna curate according to the space.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
so they're
That'll
gonna
be
do
experience.
artwork and sculptures.
Okay.
And
And
it'll
there's
be
like a ticket sales like for people to come, or it's just
so it's just people to come, maybe have a meal, have a cocktail, and
Okay.
possibly purchase art.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
All
so I
right.
think I
Okay.
love art myself, so
Yeah.
I just thought it would be a really cool thing just to get exposure.
For sure.
Exposure for the artists.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. And I think we're gonna try a bingo night.
All right.
And we're gonna do a karaoke charity night.
Ooh, karaoke. I'm not gonna bingo. So going back trivia, I'm awful. I can't.
Awful.
I know nothing. I know it sounds bad. I
We
just
know
don't
nothing.
Things I think I know, I just don't. So bingo, I could do. B6, I could do that. That's easy. But that's cool because I think that gives you. Like I said, going back to the exposure, I feel like in any kind of sales or again, and I'm just trying to relate it back to our professions and stuff, there's a ton of restaurants. So on a Friday night, when a couple or family is saying, hey, where do we go to eat? How do you get them to come to Mama Chance? When someone's looking to go for a mortgage or want to buy a home, how do I get them to say, oh, call Mike Vassallo? And it's trying to think outside the box, being different than everyone else, because if you're not, then they'll let's go to the pizzeria. Let's go to whatever. You know what I mean?
Let's get
just,
something easy.
Right. Let's
Yeah.
just take something in or whatever. Where it's like if you're able to be different and create that experience for that client or that whatever, that's what's going to keep them coming back. And I think within the short time, I've been doing mortgages for 15 years, and I'm still always grinding and trying to do. And that was part of this podcast is to get exposure. Within the year of you just being open, I think that you've done a really good job. Again, and I know nothing, just looking from the outside, I feel like you have a presence, and people know Mama Chan's in town. They definitely
We have
do.
a lot of regulars, which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they spread the word, and then that's how you get more and more people through the door. As you come through, so you opened a year ago. When was the date? Like it was
February 8th.
It's February 8th. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And it
you-
was like right before Chinese New Year too, which was really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All
and
right.
8 is like my lucky number, so
Oh, so that was it done
Yeah.
purposely on the
No,
8th, or just
no,
happened?
it
It
just
just fell.
happened to be.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So it's like now this is coming into your second spring summer season
Yeah.
and everything. So that's exciting.
yeah.
You got the hoodies. You need trucker hats.
I have them in my car.
Do you? Oh, I'm
I
getting a
just
trucker.
picked them
All
up.
right, cool.
I
I'm
just
getting one.
picked them
I'm getting a
up.
trucker. That'll rock the trucker hat. But yeah, it's such a cool experience and stuff. Is there anything that you wanted to kind of discuss or talk about that's off the top of your head? Now, going back to working with family, working with your brother and working with mom, your brother's in the back. He's kind of curating all the dishes and everything like that. What role does mom play? I know that you had said she was in the restaurant
Yes.
industry and stuff. What is she doing?
So my mom makes all the dumplings. So we have 3 types of dumplings: shrimp, veggie, and pork. And then she makes the chicken stock that goes into the beef noodle soup, which is also made up of a beef braise and the beef that we serve
Okay.
in our beef wrap.
Okay.
So those are her main things that she's making every day, and she's there 6 days a week.
And it's authentic. I was gonna say it doesn't get more authentic
Yeah.
than that. It's not like you're looking off of a menu, like a recipe or anything like that. This is
It's like her
it's what you
recipe.
grew up around eating
Yep.
at the table and stuff, and with your friends, with your family, and now you brought that from your home to a restaurant.
Yeah. And when people say, like, this is what bothers me so much. When people say, oh, you can get 12 dumplings in Chinatown for $3, they're overpriced dumplings, whatever.
Right. Welcome to Northport, baby. No.
Yeah. No, but not only that. Like, when my mom, she buys a really nice pork loin.
Well, you get quality meat.
Yeah. Quality meat. She cuts it up and then she grinds it herself.
Okay.
Okay. And then, like, she takes the bok choy, washes it, blanches it, squeezes all the water out, chops it, and then makes her mix. And it's like so involved.
Right.
So when you
That
think
if you
about
only knew what went involved in
Yeah.
making one dumpling, you could then see. And then,
we should be charging, $50 for one dumpling.
Right,
but
right, yeah,
it's like
yeah.
these are the things she's doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And
I think your menu, to be honest with you, from a price point, is priced well. I don't think anything is outrageous or whatever. I'll be honest with you. I think you probably could make things a little bit more expensive.
Agree.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, you definitely could because
Yeah.
I think what you're saying, like the quality of the product calls for it, to be honest with you. And I mean, I'm just saying people that watching may not like that, but get ready, it's coming, And we have all these tariff things that might be coming, so who knows what the ramifications will be, not just in the restaurant industry, in all industries and stuff. But like I said, everyone's going to always be a critic, whether it be good, bad, or
Always, yeah.
indifferent. They'll always write that Yelp review or whatever that they had a great experience, and you'll have the one that writes that they had a poor experience. But
it's good though. It's like fuel. It's like
I always said,
You know what I
talk
mean?
good about me, talk bad about me, just talk about me.
Yeah.
No publicity is any publicity is good publicity. I don't care in what state, to an extent, obviously.
You can't make everybody happy.
And you're not. You're not
can't.
going
It's
to.
impossible.
You're not going to. I mean, I have clients and stuff that are like family, and then I have clients that I bend over backwards for, and like no matter what I do, it's never enough. I feel in my eyes, and it's like I treat everyone the same, but not. It doesn't reciprocate back. But it is what it is. You're not going to always make everyone happy, unfortunately. But you try your best, right? Try your best. What are some? Do you have any like specialty drinks? I wanted you to tell everyone about that pineapple tequila. Is it?
Oh,
The pineapple tequila. That's amazing. That's good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna take all the credit for that because they there was another bartender that I'm very good friends with
Okay.
who makes pineapple vodka.
All right.
And he was like, you should really do this at your restaurant, but don't do vodka, do something
Right,
else.
do
And
something different.
I'm a tequila drinker.
Me too. Yeah.
Love
That's what I
tequila.
said when I had it. I was just like, this is dangerous.
Yeah, and it's
you know?
just such an easy,
Yeah.
delicious thing to just have there to give out as shots
Yeah,
and to like
yeah.
celebrate with,
Yep.
to make drinks with.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that since the summer. So it's not going to be like a full year. So I
Really?
make a
Okay.
new batch every 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, how many pineapples fills that?
It's about 5 or 6 pineapples.
Jesus, I was gonna say it looks intense.
Yeah.
Like it looks involved getting that.
It's involved.
Like getting it like perfectly.
Yeah, it is.
It
I
looks.
stack around and around.
Yeah,
and now I've
definitely.
gotten smarter. I put like a core in the middle so it doesn't move
Oh,
around.
to keep it straight.
Yeah, to keep it straight. So,
all right.
and we
Okay.
just try to make seasonal drinks and
Okay.
come up with easy things.
Anything
Not too
coming up?
involved.
Anything coming up on the menu for the spring, summer, and stuff that you know of at this point, or anything like that are in the works, or
Well, I said to my brother just yesterday, I was like, we're going to have a busy Tuesday. Can we do a special tomorrow?
but
So I'm going to walk in today and there's going to be something. I don't know what it is,
okay.
but
all right, cool.
hopefully
cool.
they'll-
The specials are fun because it changes
Yeah.
it up and stuff. And like I'm a creature of habit, so we get the same thing every single time. Where it's like when you get the when you have a special, you're like, let me try that. And
Yeah.
then you said some of the specials now have made it onto the menu. And you just kind of go off of the vibe you're hearing from your guests. If they love it, I mean,
Yeah. And what I always say to them is like, you can always come back to get your regular thing.
yeah,
Try the special.
yeah. Why
You know,
not?
try
Why
it.
not? Yeah, yeah.
Or share
yeah,
it
yeah.
and have it as an
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that you have, I find it to be like it's different. Like I wouldn't compare it to regular. So that's the thing. Like, let's go back. And we spoke about this last time on the first podcast we did, but we're gonna talk about it again. When someone says like Mama Chan's, what type of food it is, what it would be your definition on on Resi or whatever that someone said like what Mama Chan's, what kind of cuisine is it?
I would say home style Chinese Taiwanese, but
Okay.
elevated
Okay.
with a
All right.
twist.
Okay.
Like it's so hard to put us in a box because I feel like we're not really in a box.
I have a
You know what I
hard
mean?
time trying to
Yeah.
explain it to someone.
It's
So I was
like
like,
the
it's
hardest
not
question for me.
Chinese because I don't want to say it's like going to a Chinese takeout place.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not sushi. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a mix of everything. I want to say
Yeah.
sushi would be cool. It's a special.
I love sushi.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
the size of our
Yeah.
kitchen
Yeah,
and
no,
having
yeah.
to handle
Yeah,
raw fish.
yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, you have to. You don't think, and again, so going back into like that, like everyone, like you walk into the restaurant, you sit down, like Tell us about like the back end. So like you had to open up an LLC or a corporation.
Yeah.
Maybe you've never done that before. Like,
I've never.
what was the learning curve on just becoming a restaurant owner on the back end of everything, the insurances and all of that other stuff that you probably had no idea. You were just thinking like dumplings and this, that, and the
Yeah,
other, and loud music, tequila. What about all the, like, what about all the stuff on the back end of like, all right, well, let's
Yeah.
like talk business now. Like, how do we go about this and do this legit and to code and to, insurances and all of that stuff? What is that?
So I didn't know any of it. A lot of people were really helpful. Like I made it a point to sit with some people in the business.
Okay.
And to say like, how do I do this? What do I need? How do I get started? So that's how I started. And then along the way, you are like, oh, somebody's like, do you have this? Like, oh, no, let's go get this. Liquor license. I hired an expediter, and that made my life so easy. That was like the first thing I got was my liquor license.
Okay. That's the most important.
It's the most important because you can't have a restaurant with no liquor.
Without liquor, yeah.
Tequila.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm constantly learning even now. I just got a new accountant because I realized that my old accountant wasn't doing everything that I have been lacking.
Sure.
Okay. Insurance companies, I changed insurance companies halfway through because I just went with the
Whatever you were able to get at the time to get the doors open. Yeah.
and I'm just people that come to me with really great customer service and like want to be in my face and help me and tell me things I don't know and like educate me.
Educate, yeah, it's huge.
Those are the people I want to use.
Yeah. Not just send me or do whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to learn, and again, and as you do it, and just within the year, I mean, look how much you've gone through and stuff.
And then there's still so much I don't know, but
You learn as you go. Yeah,
that's it.
That's what I say. You don't really realize on the back end of how much of those things come into play. In addition to keeping staff and doing all of those other things. Now, talking about the front staff, I feel like your bartenders, your waitresses, like I recognize them from the day the doors open. I mean, they've been there with you forever.
They've been there
yeah,
forever.
I recognize every face when I walk in. Yeah,
and they worked. I worked with them in the restaurant prior, and I just kept the whole staff.
And you just kept them and everything. Okay.
Love them all, and they're amazing.
That's
and
perfect.
they really, you can't do any of this without having a really great team.
No, that's your front. That's the face of the restaurant. I mean, the customer service, being able to communicate, is key in all sale. And again, like owning a restaurant, it's sales.
Sales.
And you
But I
need
don't
to
think that, like, they have that aspect, but they're not like salespeople. They're just good people.
They're just good people. No, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
well,
like,
you had said one of your bartender. Well, one of your staff was a waiter. And you could tell he didn't like to be a waiter.
He did not like to be a waiter.
And you could just see it. Whatever, he might have done it, but he was better behind the bar.
Yep.
And you said, and he's been
That's
he's behind the bar now since, and that's his home. Like that's where he feels.
and he loves it,
Yeah.
and people love him back there,
Yeah.
and I just find somebody else that wants to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want my people to be happy.
Sure.
Because when they're happy, they just work better.
100%. Yeah.
And everybody's happier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
so it's important. But yeah, they're great. They're
That's
so
awesome.
great.
That's awesome.
But it's crazy because I have a lot of people that are like getting jobs now out of college or going to college or starting new careers. So it's so liquid, and I'm just like I lose the people.
Yeah. Do you have anyone that you're losing this summer and stuff, or since
I have
September?
a couple
going
people.
to
So I
school?
just
Yeah.
lost one of my servers that I really love,
Right.
and she just got a job in the city because
Right.
she just graduated.
Yeah.
And then I have some people going to college that I love.
Do most of the people and your employees work in the like live in the area, like in
They
Northport,
all
Huntington,
do
and
live
stuff?
around.
They all around here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But,
Yeah, funding staff has always been a thing, I guess with all businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what, and this Northport as a whole, I feel like over the last year or two, more and more restaurants have popped up.
Oh my God,
and,
so
and
many.
have opened. Where I think like in the past, I used to always venture to Huntington because everything around here
Same.
would just be like dead at 9:00. It was all closed, or it's not open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's only open. And in the past few years, more and more restaurants have been opening. Restaurants have kind of revamped their menus, the style of restaurant or whatever. So I mean, now it's like coming to Northport. There's so many different choices of food to go and try,
exciting.
which is cool.
Yeah,
and I think
I love it.
and I think it benefits every restaurant because if you're not just the one restaurant, it's just everyone kind of gravitates to where's the nightlife? Where can you go after the restaurant? I
Right.
think that's
It
a big
becomes like
deal
a
for
hub,
people. Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, that's exciting. I definitely want to get a trucker hat.
It's so funny. I literally went and got them and came here.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's still hot. It's a lot of the press.
Really, they're great.
So that's cool. So I appreciate you coming on. It was a lot
Again.
of fun. I hit the record button. We're good. I think we've covered everything. Is there anything that we didn't discuss that you think you wanted to talk about, or anything that you wanted to let anyone know, or that we didn't? I'm just trying to think if there's anything that
I'm
we
trying to
didn't
think too.
speak about. I tried to cover all my bases.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is I'd love to see you in the Hamptons.
Maybe one day.
We have to find like a private investor. We got to find the money guy. Find
We need
the
a money guy. We need to
and
clone.
then-
Be able to clone me.
Right.
My
Yes.
mom.
Yes.
My
Well,
brother.
that's the biggest thing. So Jen said that. She's like, yeah, that's fine. But she's like, but you're not getting them the authenticity of Diana, of the vibe of it. It's just in the name.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where the value is in your restaurant, is that you guys have such a, like, if you weren't there and there were 3 other people running it on a Friday night, it would not be anything close to what you guys. So you can't even go on vacation.
I don't. I don't.
You'd have to go you'd have to leave Saturday night and come
Saturday
back Monday.
night, yes.
All right.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
it's possible. I guess it happens, but
I'm
yeah.
like, where can I go? In
Yeah.
that short.
You can
time?
short 3-day quick flight somewhere or something like that, you
Yeah.
know. But it's great. So I wish you all the best and stuff,
Thank
and keep doing what you're doing and kicking ass, and yeah, taking names, yeah, and keep at it. Thank you everybody for watching. If you have not been to Mama Chan's, make it a priority to go. It's right on 25A in Northport. You do need reservations.
On the weekends.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can't walk into this place, because if you do, you're not gonna get it. So go. Are you on like Resi or any of
Google
those
right now.
Google, okay.
Or just call me.
Yes, or Instagram, Mama Chan's. You could message her on there and stuff. But definitely check it out if you haven't. And thank you again for coming in. I really appreciate it. This was fun. All right, and sorry for doing it again. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.